Barbecue sauce is so easy to make. It's ridiculous. And you can make it perfectly suited to your taste, which is awesome. Now, as far as what goes into barbecue sauce, it can be whatever you want. A lot of barbecue sauces are based in tomato, so we have a bunch of different stuff here that we can see. What we're gonna do is we're gonna saute some onions with a little bit of garlic. We're gonna add some tomato paste. We're gonna add some brown sugar, some chili powder, a little bit of cayenne for just a little bit of spice, but not too much. We're gonna give it a savory element with some Worcestershire sauce. And we've got a little bit of lemon for a little bit of extra like tartness. We've also got something that I'm really excited about, and this is something I learned from my aunt when I was a little girl. And these are canned peaches. Canned peaches are very sweet, but they give it kind of caramely flavor. And they kind of bring something to barbecue sauce that, you know, I can't really find outside of homemade. And you can actually use whatever kind of canned fruit you want. If you want to use canned fruit, you can use canned pears, canned pineapple is delicious. I've even used canned mandarins, because in the end, what we're gonna do is we're gonna cook everything up, we're gonna bring it to a boil, and then we're gonna blend it so it becomes super smooth. We've got a little bit extra, this is the juice from the canned peaches, which I'm gonna separate. That's why it's kind of sitting over here by itself, because I don't wanna use it just yet. What I'm gonna do is use that to adjust the texture and also to adjust flavor. So if I feel it needs a little bit more sweetness, that's when I'll call that in, but I'm not gonna know until I start making the barbecue sauce. And that's the most important part that I wanna point out about this, is you can make it however you want. So we've got vinegar, brown sugar, you know, all the stuff I just pointed out. You can add more if you want. Like if you make this recipe and you taste it and you're like, I need a little bit more vinegar. I'm more of like a Carolina style girl. Add more vinegar. If you're like, it needs more spice, by all means, add more cayenne or chili powder. Like if you're like, it really needs more of that like savory note, you can add more Worcestershire sauce, or you can like full on just like throw some anchovies into the blender. Like I know for some people you're gonna go, ugh, anchovies in a blender, huh. But truthfully, that is a really important flavor tip that you need to know about. Anchovies make almost anything savory, and there's a lot of stuff out there that you probably know and love and would be surprised to find out actually have a lot of anchovies in them. One of those things is right here. It's Worcestershire sauce. This is like basically American fish sauce, right? So part of the reason it tastes like it does is because of anchovies. Same with Caesar salad. Like a really delicious Caesar salad has anchovies in it. Like they just throw them in the blender when they make the sauce. I don't really advertise that fact because people think that anchovies are gross, but really anchovies are a really important element to savory cooking. So people who struggle with acidity might want to make a lower acid barbecue sauce, and that's totally easy. You would just add less lemon, less vinegar. If you wanted to, you could add less tomato, or instead of tomato paste, you could use regular tomatoes. This is really concentrated tomato, so you could add like diced tomatoes in a can, or just straight up lemon, or just straight up tomatoes that you've chopped yourself. I like to use this because it's super concentrated tomato flavor. It gives that really tomato punch without like really affecting the texture too much. So that's why we're using tomato paste. When it comes to storing your barbecue sauce, once you're done, all you gotta do is put it in a sealed container. I mean, you could even use like an old jar or old bottle from barbecue sauce that you bought at the store. I just keep mine in a mason jar. It's super easy. You can use it within a week or two. I'd say 2 weeks max. It can be pretty acidic and pretty sweet, so I'm not super worried about spoilage, but because I don't know that this absolutely has a 5% acidity ratio to it, I'm not really comfortable leaving it in the fridge for longer than 2 weeks. If somebody wants to go out there and test the pH of this recipe and tell me exactly like what percentage of vinegar it is, then maybe it will last longer, but I don't have that information. So I'm gonna tell you 2 weeks max, ideally within a week.